Hello and welcome to PSM Speak. Electoral bond scheme. Was it a big scam? A scheme to draw wool on the eyes of the people of this country? A fraud? What is it? To know whether that was a fraud or not, let's try to understand what it is and what happened subsequent to the Supreme Court. The 5 judges bench of the Supreme Court, it struck down the electoral bond scheme and related amendments to various enactments as unconstitutional. So let us see what is these electoral bonds, and you can make your own judgment whether it is a fraud as is being claimed by some, that biggest fraud not only in India but globally big. What is electoral bond? For simple understanding, any citizen or a corporate body's representative can go to the bank, State Bank of India, the designated branch on the appointed dates, and buy an electoral bond against payment in the method that is described in the scheme. And the bond is a bearer bond. State Bank of India gives a bond. Of course, it bears a number, but that number is not visible to us. Only the amount of money is noted, and then the date of issue is given, and that is to be encashed by the political party that is entitled to encash within 15 days. Otherwise, the money will go to the Prime Minister's Relief Fund. It's a bearer bond. Of what value? 1,000, 10,000, 1 lakh, 10 lakh or 1 crore. If somebody wants to donate to a political party 10 crore rupees, they have to buy, let's say, 10 bonds of 1 crore rupees each. Then it is a bearer bond. Who can issue a bearer bond? As per Reserve Bank of India's Act 1934, Section 31, it is the privilege of the Reserve Bank of India and the Government of India alone to issue a bearer instrument. You can write a pronote or draw a check, a negotiable instrument, but there you name a party and write or bearer or the order of, but not to the bearer exclusively without naming any party. That right is only, I am repeating, to the Reserve Bank of India. Reserve Bank of India issues notes, currency notes. On currency notes, for example, look at any note, 500 rupees denomination. This is 500 rupees denomination. Or any currency note, you will find guaranteed by the Government of India. And Reserve Bank of India says, I promise to pay the bearer the sum of 500 rupees, because this is 500 rupees note. You can see any currency note. But this privilege is given to the State Bank of India. Amending the Reserve Bank of India Act, Section 31(3). Then as we have seen how much, any amount, anybody can give any amount to the political parties. But so far, as per Companies Act 2013, Section 182, no company can give beyond 7.5% of their net profits. Average of 3 years was allowed to be given to the political parties, and that section also amended. Companies Act amended. The companies were required to inform their boards the donations that they made to each political party. But with the amendment of the Companies Act, it is not necessary. Enough if the aggregate sum is given to the company's board. Contribution was through checks, electronic transfers kind of thing. But now, through an electoral bond. So these changes have been brought by amending the Companies Act. The political parties were required to maintain the amount that they received from different sources. Section 13A, but that is no more required. So the IT Act also has been amended to this extent. After the electoral bond scheme was brought in. As you know, the electoral bond scheme was notified from 2018, whereas the act was made in 2017 as a financial act. Then the voters were supposed to know. They have right to information. What kind of candidate I am voting, what type of party I am voting, their integrity, the money they get from different sources. So how many acts were amended as a result of Financial Act 2017, Reserve Bank of India Act 1934, Representation of People's Act 1951, Income Tax Act 1961 and Companies Act 2013. So the government was so serious that somehow it wanted to bring this act. Why it was so serious? The reason why it said that it was bringing this enactment and this scheme was to checkmate the use of black money, cash, donations to the political parties, and it wanted it to be a secret who is donating to which party. The reason is to protect the interest of the donors. The presumption was that if one person or one company donating to a particular political party, if that is known to the other political party to which the person or the company are not donating, so the party which is not getting money may demand money. Or in the case when the money is not donated to that party, that party, it is presumed to nurture the vengeance against the person or the company which is not donating. This is what is one reason why they said it should be a secret thing. But is it really secret to everybody? To all the political parties? As per the scheme, if courts ask, the information has to be given. If any investigation agency or when a criminal case is filed against anybody, the investigation agencies like Enforcement Directorate or CBI can seek and obtain the information. State Bank of India knows, government bank. Then the investigating agencies can also get the information, which means the government can get the information. When the government is getting, is it unlikely that the political party in power will not know? Which clearly means that the party in power here in central government, the BJP, is likely to know. Others definitely do not know who is getting what. Now, thanks to the Honorable Supreme Court's judgment 15 February 2024, which struck down the electoral bond scheme and related amendments in various statutes, holding them as unconstitutional and arbitrary, that we are able to now know what happened. The Supreme Court demanded the information, directed the State Bank of India to give the information to the Election Commission. So after this, now it is clear who got how much is very clearly known now. Between 2017-18 and 2022-23, electoral bonds worth 12,008 crore were sold. Of this amount, 55% went to the coffers of Bharatiya Janata Party, the ruling party, 6,564 crore rupees. Now 5 political parties got maximum. One party in Telangana, BRS, got 1,214.7 crore rupees. The Wire has reported. The recent news item of the Hindu says that 33 loss-making companies contributed 582 crore rupees, of which 75% went to the ruling BJP. It also found that the source of funds of as many as 45 companies which donated to the political parties was suspect. Now you can understand why the government was so much interested in introducing the electoral bond scheme, why it had to amend so many statutes, why it ignored the suggestion of Reserve Bank of India not to go ahead with this, why it ignored similarly the suggestion of the Election Commission. If the intent was really genuine, it is for the government to prove that. There should be a thorough probe why the State Bank of India was reluctant to share the information within the time stipulated by the Supreme Court. Then why the companies which are in losses also contributed? Why the ceiling clause was deleted? How many cases were instituted against the persons among the donors? Cases by CBI, ED, and when were the cases instituted? And when did these persons, in particular those against whom the allegations were made the payments to the political parties? And what happened subsequent to their donations? How many of the parties who donated got the government works, various projects? When were the projects were allotted to them? And when did they pay? There needs to be a thorough probe to know all these and tell the people. But for the Supreme Court's directive, initiative and orders, we wouldn't have known that the things were going in the way they are going now. So let's hope whichever the government that is going to come after 2024 elections, going to institute a thorough, impartial and objective inquiry and inform the people what exactly happened. And was it a scam? And how big was it? Thank you so much for so patiently watching this video. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it already. As you know, subscription is free. Thank you.